So in today's Enlisted video, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to show you guys how to data mine. So the first thing is what is data mining? Data mining is whenever you go into the files of a game and you're able to see what kind of content is coming up, whether it be from updates as well as, just like what's hidden in the files, as well as if you have questions about the game. So if you have a question about, how does this flight model work or how does this damage model work, you're able to go into the files and figure it out. So the first thing I want to talk about is how I personally learned how to data mine. So if you didn't know, War Thunder is a game that has a lot of people who are make secondary content around it, whether it be from like War Thunder Live or doing data mining just like this video is. So if you didn't know, Father Gentlespeed was a data miner on War Thunder, and he released a guide similar to this one on how to data mine War Thunder. So I'm going to give you guys an example of how this will help the enlisted community a bunch, because we will hopefully from this video get people like Zabby. So if you know who Zabby is, he is a data miner for War Thunder, and each update, each like minor update even, he compiles a list of what's added to the game. So this is just an example for War Thunder because they had a recent dev server. So the first thing we're going to go over is the programs I use. So the programs I use is Notepad++. In my opinion, it's just a better notepad. You're able to have tabs, and yeah, it's just better. It's not needed, but I just personally use it. WinMerge is a program that lets you compare files from older versions of the game. So if you're more into the wanting to see what's coming in an update, you're able to take a file and you're able to take the other file and see what's new in it without taking much time at all, because it'll show you. And then the Enlisted tool for data mining. This tool is also in the Father Gentlespeed hyperlink. You can click on that one as well to go see how to data mine War Thunder. But download this tool and you will pretty much have your first data mining step done. So how to set up this tool. So what you want to do is you want to download it from the hyperlink right here. And then once you do that, you want to make a folder on your desktop or wherever you want to put it, called like Enlisted Data Mine or something, just something you know where it's at. And then you need to extract or put all these files into the Enlisted folder you made. And once everything in the files is there, you're pretty much done. So should look something like this, except for the Enlisted should not be there at all. It should just have these files right here. And once you're there, you are good. So then personally, this is just my opinion. I like to keep things organized because it can get very messy whenever it comes to data mining, and being able to be organized just makes it way easier on me. So Enlisted, this is where I put the files that I directly get from Enlisted. The Enlisted game is where my finished files go. So once they're data mined and they have went through the unpackers and all that kind of stuff, they'll go there. Once an update comes for Enlisted, I take those files and put them into the old game, just so I have something to compare with WinMerge whenever an update comes. So it should look something like this once you're done, but you can pretty much make it the way you want. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the tools in this tool. So Romps Unpacker is this tool is the main one you'll use, because I'm just going to go pull up the Enlisted files right quick. This is the Enlisted root directory, if you didn't know. And majority of files in this directory will be romps bins, right? So if we take this file, let's just go to content, right? And then let's go to Enlisted. So all these are romps files. All these files right here, you can data mine by just placing them into the other folder and placing them through the unpacker. And then, yeah, very simple. So then BLK unpackers. This is for BLK files. If I'll show an example whenever we do an example of data mining. But BLK files are very hard to read whenever it comes to just using them. So this BLK unpacker, what it does is make the BLK file into a BLKX file, and you're able to open it up in like Notepad or Notepad++, and you're able to read the code that's in that file. The secondary tools, these are more for like images. I don't really use these that much. DXP unpack, DSS unpack. I don't really use these at all. But if you ever see files that have these, you can use those. Not used is Cog Unpacker. We don't use those. BLK Minifier. We don't need to make BLK files smaller, so you don't use it. Update Checker. Not sure what this tool does. It is a new tool that was added. and the same with the differ. I don't know what either one of these do. So if you ever figured out what they do, just message me on this or comment on this video and tell me. Be very welcomed. And then this is for War Thunder replays, and we don't need it because we're playing Enlisted. So you can read this right here, but I'm just going to show you guys how this works. So we're going to take, let's go back to Enlisted, and we're going to open this one up as well. So the biggest tip in Enlisted or to data mining is that if you have a slow internet connection, make sure you never do this. And I'm going to do it just because I'm going to show you guys. Never take this file and drag it. Because what you just did is now you have took that file out of Enlisted, and the next time you launch the game, you'll have to re-download that file. So if you ever do that, just put it back in. What I usually do is I do a copy and a paste. And this is just an example file. What you do is once you have this file in here, is I take it and put it through the ROMs unpacker because it is a ROMs file. Then you'll get a actual folder. If you look in this folder right now, it's just BLK files. And let's just take the human one, for example. Open it with Notepad++. You get a bunch of this. It's very hard to read. Probably can't read much in it. You hit water, composite, FX. It's very hard to read, right? So what you do is since there's a lot of BLK files in this, you can do it all at once. You take this folder right here and you throw it into the BLK unpacker. Once you do that, you will get a BLKX file. Let's just go to config again. Let's use the human one, and we'll open it with Notepad++, and you can see it is completely different whenever it comes to what's in the files. So that is really the basic idea of how to data mine Enlisted. So then once you have that, you would throw this one there and throw this one there, since it is a current update right now. The biggest tip I can give is stay organized if you want to do this regularly. But if you're ever just checking out the game, you will, you can just not be organized. It's really up to you. So now we're going to go over what in Enlisted is notable to data mine. I will do this one too. Hang on, let me just go ahead and data mine that one because it is a very important file. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the content file. This file has a lot of information whenever it comes to the game. It has pretty much like what everything in the game will be. So let's just say, or this ain't even really like you don't have to data mine. You could do this without any of these programs. You can just go to tank, go to res file, or hang on, this is the wrong one in it. USA tank. And you're able to see each one of these tanks. So the M3 Lee's there. The Sherman Jumbo 76 is there. The M8 Greyhound's there. You're able to see different tanks, and we've not done any sort of data mining at all. But here is the most useful data mine in Enlisted. So how do you get to this file? You just go to content from the root directory, go to Enlisted, and then there's going to be a folder called UI skin. There's a folder called UI skin update. This one is the wrong one. Just take the UI skin ROMs file, copy it, paste it over here. And this one's really cool because you can unpack it. You'll get this folder and it'll be called UI. Once you get here, it's just a bunch of images. So this file is really good if you're a content creator for Enlisted because you're able to take, like, just say this image right here and make it into a thumbnail. As well as you're able to just have pictures. It's like a picture book. It's one of the easiest ways to data mine Enlisted because each one of these things is like a campaign reward. So you're able to see, you know, what new campaign rewards are there. And for a good example of the last patch that came out, whenever we did not know the Panther or the Sherman for the Battle of Berlin premiums were there, you can go to the shop, and each one of these things is pretty much like the premiums. So where's it at? Where is it at? I don't remember exactly where it's at. Oh, no. Okay, so I know where it was at now. You went over here. And if you ever get files like this, where it's just a bunch of this. You can right click, click view, do extra large, and you're able to see. Yeah, this is where, yeah. I know where we're at now. So this is where I was able to find the Sherman very early whenever it came to Enlisted, because the game was down for like a couple hours and you're able to data mine and you're able to see, you know, what the content is. So the UI skin folder is probably like one of the easiest things to data mine because it is literally just a picture book and you're able to just look at pictures and see what's new to the game. When it comes to stuff that's more or that's harder to do, we're going to talk about some stuff in the content folder. So the E_World War II_common romps file has a bunch of the weapons in the game. So if you want to see kind of like what kind of weapons are hidden right now, whenever it comes to Enlisted, you can go into this file and you're able to see as well. You can see, I believe it had some stats for the weapons and grenades and stuff. I think that's what was in that file. I don't exactly remember. But I'd also like to point out something with the Enlisted files is that Enlisted shares files from War Thunder and Crusade Foad. If you didn't know what Crusade Foad is, I don't blame you. It's a weird name. But it was originally called Cuisine Royale. So if you see a T80U flap or a Barrett 50 cal, that does not mean Enlisted is going modern. It just means that it shares files from War Thunder and it shares files from Cuisine Royale. Common shooter romps is a file where you're able to see the damage in the game whenever it comes to weapons and it comes to like limbs. That's where I found the modifiers for the body parts. Aircraft romps, you can go in there to see like flight models, damage models, weapons, all kind of stuff. Tank romps is pretty much the same thing. You're able to go in there and see what the tanks are, the tank shells, tank cannons, tank guns. And that's the basic idea of how to data mine Enlisted. So if you have any comments or questions on how to data mine Enlisted, just feel free to leave them in the comment section. As well as I hope people take this guide and can go further than I could, because I personally just don't have the time to data mine. And hopefully someone else will, and hopefully more people will do it so the load is spread out onto other people and we're able to get more data in a shorter amount of time, because data mining this game is time consuming, because finding stuff right now is very hard because we don't know, or there's not like a guide to do it yet. And hopefully this one will get people on the right track to be able to data mine Enlisted and be able to see what's in the game. So I hope everyone had a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.